Hello guys, what's up? It's Itai again, and today I'm going to teach you how to do your first crow into handstand. So why is the crow to handstand so important? Because after you gain control in your handstand, you'll probably want to learn the handstand push-up. So a great way to start the handstand push-up will be the crow to handstand, from the reason that the crow will give you a solid foundation to only do the push in the handstand push-up without having to use an additional strength, and also it will teach you the movement that you need to do in the handstand push-up. So that's a really great way to start. Another exercise that it really helps is the LC2 handstand. Since the LC2 handstand we go through the tuck position, it's similar to the crow position, and that's why the crow into handstand and the tuck into handstand will probably be the same in the difficulty. So what are the prerequisites for the crow to handstand? It's a pretty beginner exercise after achieving the handstand. You really want to have a solid handstand, which means you can just go to handstand and hold at least around 10 to 15 seconds. Maybe a bit movement in the legs, straddle, diamond and full. And also having a bit of shoulder strength, which means doing pike push-ups. So if you want a tutorial about the pike push-up, you can just ask me in the comments and I will do. So we just go down and up. You want to be able to do good 8 reps where you touch the nose in the floor and you can go up. So really 8 to 10 good reps will give you the strength that you need in order to start the movement. Another thing that I recommend for the crow to handstand is to learn how to do a headstand, which means going with the head and feeling comfortable in this position. And why do you need the headstand? Because the steps to achieve the crow to headstand will use the headstand as a bridge between those two. Perfect. So first step, we're going to learn how to do crow to headstand. We're going to go into the crow position, and from here just go into headstand. It's a pretty easy transition. Make sure you can do it, the crow to headstand. And the second step will be going from headstand to handstand. That requires pretty much amount of shoulder strength, but you can also use momentum, and I'll show how. We're gonna go into the headstand near the wall. We want to practice at first near the wall because we're not gonna do it freestanding right now. It's much safer and it's much smarter to work like this. So we're gonna go to the headstand, and from here we're gonna press the knees up. And when we press the knees up, we want to push the hands with the momentum we're gonna get from the feet. So we're gonna push up and use the momentum to push with our hands up. You can learn how to do it without momentum, which means you're just gonna push. But a better way to learn is to use the momentum of the legs to push you up. And it's really important to see the direction of the feet. You want to really think about pushing the heels up. If you're gonna push to back, you're gonna fall backwards, which means if I'm gonna push here, I'm not finished on the wall. So I'm thinking about pushing up and maybe a bit more toward the wall. And it's okay because in a handstand we always fall forward. So after we learn crow to headstand and headstand to handstand using momentum, we can go for the second step. The second step will be connecting those two. How does it look like? We're gonna start in a crow position. We're gonna go into headstand and push into the handstand. We really want to think about doing each step alone, which means we're gonna go into the crow, then we're gonna go into the headstand. When we're doing the headstand, we're not thinking about pulling the legs up. We're gonna keep them in the crow position, and then in one movement we're gonna think about pushing the hips up, the knees up and the heels up, and using the momentum with the hands and with the shoulder strength that you gain if you did any pike push-ups. So you use the shoulder strength and it should lift you up into the handstand. So now we're going to the third step. The third step will be doing it with flow, which means we're not going to stop at each position and we're going to do it really smooth. And I'm going to show how it looks like. I'm going to go into the crow, and once I touch the head, I go up. I'll do another example. I go here, 1, 2, push up. There's a minimal time where my head touches the ground, and that's why it's really important, because it's starting to mimic the crow to handstand. Perfect. Going into the next step, the fourth step, we're gonna do it without touching the head on the floor, And what's important that we're gonna change the way we look, because when we go from the crow to the headstand, we pull the head in. But when we wanna go to the handstand and we wanna hold the handstand, then we need to keep our eyes looking at our hands, which means first when I do the crow, I look forward to my hands, and when I go up, I look at my hands, which means I'm not pulling my head at any way. At first, it's gonna look like this. So you're gonna go to the crow and maybe get stuck here. If you're getting stuck here, maybe your hip is going too much backwards, or maybe you don't have shoulder strength. So next step, we'll just train it, do as much exercise as you can, and if it's too hard, then you can still go backwards to the other steps. And the goal is really to go from the crow to the handstand on the wall without touching your head on the floor. We're not trying to balance yet, we only try to reach to the wall. That's why it's super important, because the wall gives us the opportunity to try it over and over and over and over, and not relying on balance. We go to the next step. The next step we'll be doing the same thing, but now we're gonna go and do a handstand at the end of the exercise, which means we're gonna go to the crow, to the handstand on the wall, and then to freestanding handstand. I'm gonna show how it looks like. Crow, going into handstand on the wall, and now lifting one leg, adding the other one, and just holding the position here. If it's too hard, again, go to the step before, and if you don't have a really good balance with the wall, then you need to learn how to use the wall in order to gain balance. It's a pretty early step in the handstand. You did this one, the next step would be getting off the wall. It's gonna take time, so every time I want to think about going a bit more backwards. So firstly, we're gonna start with the hands close to the wall, and then each time we're gonna take a small step from the wall and try not touching the wall. How it's gonna look like? So first, you're gonna take a step from the wall, and first it's gonna look like this. Only one leg touches the wall, and you're trying to hold. And if it's comfortable, you can take another step off the wall, and from here just try to go to the wall, but try to stop it. So now I just tap the wall, and lastly I'm gonna do it without the wall. So you're gonna step off the wall and really try to focus on pushing the hips up and the heels also in the same direction, and hold the position here. Maybe it's not gonna be perfect, maybe you're gonna finish in a banana handstand, completely okay. Once you're comfortable doing it close to the wall but not touching the wall, you did it a few times, you feel comfortable, then I really recommend trying it freestanding without the wall. Only after all the steps, because this exercise usually takes time. You need to think how to place the hip above the shoulder. You really need to think how to pull the hips to your shoulder, and you really need to learn how to coordinate everything together. I'm gonna show how to do the crow to handstand, now freestanding, and then I'm gonna give some tips. So, going to the crow and hips above shoulders, so I'm doing this movement, and after that going up. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So this is how to do the crow to handstand. Now I'm gonna give you some tips about the crow to handstand. Tip number 1, you wanna think about, when you push up, you wanna think about moving a bit more weight to the other side, which means that I'm gonna think about always not pushing my legs up and maybe a bit backwards, because I wanna finish when my weight is more closer to my fingers, because there I can stop the handstand, and not on my heels, because then I'll fall backwards. So every time think about, you wanna finish in a handstand with a slight leaning forward. That's when you're not accurate. Now with that I'm accurate, I'm really thinking about being in the right position, but when you start, you really wanna think about getting to the fingers and pressing in the right time. Second tip, you need to work on other things while doing the crow to handstand based on your weakened point, which means that if you're doing the crow to handstand and you feel like your problem is the balance, you keep falling backward, you keep falling forward, you don't know where you're at when you're doing the crow to handstand, then you probably need to work more on your handstand. But if the problem is you're doing it with the wall, you're trying to do the crawl, everything goes perfect, and then you try to push and you don't have the strength for it, then maybe the problem is in your shoulder strength. Lastly, the hand position. So we want to finish in a handstand, so we're not going to place the hand to the side, we're going to place it forward, where the index or the second finger going to shoot forward. This is everything I have to say about the crawl to handstand. I hope this video helped you. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and please tell me in the comments what more tutorials would you like to see from me, and I'll do a video about it. Peace, and see you guys in the next videos.